know what is what.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is Cult of the Living Dead.
All right, let's get it started. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Cult of the Living Dead. This week, we are covering the 1986 cult horror movie classic From Beyond. As always, I am your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Saya
Yep.
and Twan.
What up?
Just a quick reminder, guys, we are a cult movie podcast. We cover cult classics, B movies, and horror. All these opinions are subjective. None of us are academically trained in film critique, but enjoy the ride. All right, so this is our second movie that we've covered from director Stuart Gordon. We previously covered Reanimator, I think like 5 episodes ago, I want to say.
Yeah, pretty
Not
that long ago.
Yeah, pretty
not that
recently. This is another like HP Lovecraft adaptation, which is kind of wild. HP Lovecraft be wild, and now I really want to read his books. If this is a shit he was putting out in like the early 1900s.
Well, I read that this was this movie From Beyond was based off of a 7-page story from Lovecraft, so it wasn't even a book.
A 7-page story? I don't even
Yeah.
think that classifies as a short story. That's like an essay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. 7 pages, huh?
Yeah, you turn it into a full feature-length film.
That's cool. I like how Gordon worked basically with the same writers that he used and music guy that he used for Reanimator. So we have Brian Usna. He also did the Honey I Shrunk the Kids movies and series, which is always crazy to me when you see like a movie like this and then that guy also wrote Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Like that's kind of wild. And Dennis Pauly, who worked on basically like the Reanimator series and a couple other movies that Gordon directed. And then we have Richard Band, who did the music for Reanimator, Puppet Master series, and Dolls. Interesting enough, Stuart Gordon also directed Dolls, and he directed this movie and Dolls at the exact same time.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. We have some returning characters from the Reanimator film. So we have Crawford's name, Tillinghast?
Tillingist?
Tillinghast, played by Mr. Jeffrey Combs. Dr. Catherine McMichaels, played by Barbara Crampton, both of which were in Reanimator. We have Dr. Edward Pretorius, which is a cool last name, played by Ted Sorrell. Yeah. He's in a bunch of random stuff, a lot of which I've never heard of. Bubba Brownlee, who's played by Ken. Is it Forey or Foray?
Forey's pretty good guess.
So I recognized him. He's from Dawn of the Dead. And he's also in The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
And he was in Halloween 06.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him in that one.
He was the guy that like always talked to Michael and was really nice to Michael. And then once Michael like finally in Halloween, he was one of the people in the mental institution that was like actually really nice to Michael.
Not the janitor, right?
And yeah, I think the janitor guy. And
I thought the janitor was Danny Trejo.
And then I think that's the
second one.
I think that's the second one. Now I'm gonna need to look, but he's there. Like he was really cool to Michael.
And then in Devil's Rejects, he was like the pimp dude, right?
Mm-hmm. He was, yeah. He had that
like
one weird looking guy as his henchman.
Yeah, and then he ran that like brothel that he let them chill at.
Yeah.
He was that dude was wild in this movie. And then we have Dr. Blotch, who's played by Carolyn Purdy Gordon, who at the time was the wife of Stuart Gordon. She was also in Reanimator and in the Dolls series. So what were you guys expecting going into this film? I expected this movie to be pretty fucking wild considering how crazy Reanimator was. And this movie was like I think weirder than Reanimator.
Can we get a shout out to the FX and like the visuals and makeup crew? Because like the the practical effects that they did for this, just like Reanimator, was really really nuts. Some
Yeah.
really like wild, like body horror type shit. I thought that was really cool. That's exactly what I was expecting it to be.
I read that the
Amongst
main
other
special
things.
effects crew like wasn't able to finish the film. Like they ran out of money or went out of business like before the film even finished.
Holy shit, that
Damn,
sucks.
crazy. Yeah, the I actually had this pulled up already because I was right there with you. I wanted to shout them out because the practical effects in this movie were really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were
It's
great.
from John Carl Belcher.
Nice.
He did he did this movie, Dungeon Master, Ghoulies, Troll. Um his latest work was in '08 when he did Ginger Dead Man 2 Passion of the Crust.
What a fucking title. Holy shit.
Nice.
Holy shit. Ginger Dead Man 2 Passion of the Crust.
Yep.
That should be a Saturn award right there just for that. That's a fucking title. That's wild. Yeah, apparently they filmed it in collaboration with like Italy because all the filming was done in Italy because Gordon said if they would have wanted to film this movie in the US it would have cost $15 million as opposed to
Yeah.
the 4 million that it cost to do it in Italy, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, 4.5 is what it costs in Italy, and it would have cost 15 in the States, which makes sense because the special effects are insane.
Yeah, they were good, especially for the time.
I wrote down, I'm like, damn, these are like borderline thing quality special effects.
Yeah.
Especially like we'll get into it later where he does like the morphing scenes I thought were really well done.
The morphing scenes.
Yeah, where like he's like changing his shape.
Oh, yeah. he t- and everything, a lot of things in this movie have a phallic shape.
I mean, he straight up like grabs but Dr. McMichaels with his dick when he's like choking her. Like straight up it comes from his dick. It's his dick that comes out. It's wild.
This is like the clown in Scary Movie 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wraps around his throat.
That's pretty much what happens.
Damn, I didn't. Even though I've seen this movie twice, I didn't catch that.
Because
It was his dick.
because both his hands are like open and then like
Mhm.
it's the camera angle's looking from like underneath his legs.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then.
Like when he has her pinned up against the wall and he's like choking her out.
Right before he says the iconic line, right? Humans are such easy prey. And then
Yeah.
snatch. Damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was his dick. This movie's like, wait, I thought like the sexualness in Reanimator was wild. It is fucking super wild in this one.
Taking him to a whole
Yeah.
other level.
He takes it up a notch big time.
Yeah.
Were you guys expecting it to be this wild after seeing Reanimator, or do you think weirder or less weird than Reanimator?
Weirder.
Weirder.
Yeah. It's it's a fucking wild ride. And it like continues throughout the movie, like up until the very end. It doesn't really stop being crazy.
I mean, I love how with Reanimator the way it pops off, like no title screen, it just jumps into movie again. I thought that was pretty sick.
I did enjoy that. I don't know why movies kind of strayed away from that. I guess you have to give shout outs to each and every fucking production company, but like just being thrown into it is always nice. It like adds to the mystery.
So I actually know the answer to this. So I guess like I think it's like a union thing or something, but you have to have two title cards.
Hmm.
You have to. And I don't know if you've noticed like a lot of Marvel movies just jump into the movie. They don't have the title card. They don't tell you who it stars or anything like that. You don't see any of that stuff until the end of the movie. And that's why you'll have like the really creative sometimes like title card where it'll be like starring like, I don't know, fucking who the fuck plays Star Lord, or Robert Downey Jr. It'll just be like a freeze frame of him as Iron Man or something.
Yeah.
And then that part will end, and then it'll just see like the regular scroll one where you see like cast and crew. So that
Mhm.
counts as two. So a lot of movies nowadays just put both of them at the end of the movie. That's
That
the
makes sense.
new way. But I like how they did it because it gives you a little teaser. You're like, oh shit, and then it's like title card breather. You got like to soak in what happened in that like first segment of the movie, which is pretty fucking intense.
Yeah, I mean, it just throws you in, and you're already questioning like, what is this movie going to be about?
For real.
I think Jeffrey Combs plays a good scientist guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I like how this movie, as we'll see with Barbara, like it flips the script where he's more the like reluctant participant in the experiments, and Barbara's more the mad scientist.
Yeah,
Where in Reanimator it was flipped, he was the mad scientist and she was the reluctant participant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. They did a good job as both in both movies, I think.
they did.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
Like to be able to act one way with one specific movie, and then the next movie they're like, all right, now do what you did, but in reverse. Like that sounds like a blast. That sounds like a good test of like just acting
Range.
Yeah, range and like just having fun with friends.
I feel like even though he did play kind of two different roles, he still was essentially like the same. Like
True.
he had similar mannerisms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when he was like more manic and like freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just plays that type of character, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of this like opening scene when they figure out the like equation to get the resonator to work?
I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what the fuck is happening? Like it literally just throws you in. No preface, no explaining anything. I mean, I guess there's like they're talking about it, but there's like not anything else. You don't get like context until you see actually what's happening. And then even then it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just starts. Like within the first 5 minutes, we already see like another dimension,
Mm-hmm.
and he's already being attacked, and it's like it's a bad dimension,
It is
Yeah,
a bad
well, like-
dimension.
full of pain.
And things that want to
It's-
touch you.
It's almost like Hellraiser. It had very similar kind of like themes where like the balance of like pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true, huh?
I think just the villain had that balance. I feel like everything else wanted to kill you.
Yeah, well, I guess it evoked pleasure in humans, but the things that were living in the dimension
Mm-hmm.
caused pain. I don't know.
True. Yeah.
It's a Lovecraft story, man.
It's a Lovecraft story. Nothing makes sense. Everything's up for
No,
interpretation.
it's meant it's meant for us to question.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the special effects on the eel?
It was cool. I mean, for being 86, like that CGI, even though I feel like the technology that they use is similar to the technology that they use in the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland to get the ghosts on the
Mhm.
on the dinner table,
The
Yeah.
projector, like type
like a
thing.
reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not really special effects, right? It's like it's real. It's really there.
Yeah.
Do I dare say practical?
It's I guess early form of special effects. I guess it's not CGI. I don't think it's computer generated.
Yeah.
I like the way that when like it first starts kicking in, they're like almost like a ghostly shape,
hmm
and then once like it really starts kicking in, like the wind's blowing, then they take form and they're like actual like eels in the like flying around in the room. I thought
Yeah.
that was cool the way they did that like visual transition from them being like in between the two realms into fully like being in the beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and I thought the resonator looked fucking something out of like a 1920s like Nikola Tesla design, which I thought was pretty cool.
It reminded me of the fly machine, like in that same type of way where it was kind of just put together. I mean, they're scientists, so it's put together well, but like it's just like a homemade device that was like put together.
Yeah, it looked cool. It had a cool look. It looked believable, I guess.
I didn't realize that those things at the top were like what were making the vibrations, like those forks, until they pointed it out though.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was supposed to look scientific-y. I wrote down that I thought it was pretty funny how like after Pretorius is like fucking nutting all over the place, like enjoying the beyond.
Yeah.
And like he gets his head bitten off and then like he gets arrested. And I was like, oh well, no way they arrested him in this movie. Because he didn't get arrested in Reanimator after like his fucking he like murdered his professor with that like juice.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting.
And the only reason why he got arrested is because they had the cops called on him by the neighbor.
Oh yeah, the little fucking nosy ass neighbor.
Dude, just walking into a house that's not yours.
I wrote that down too. I was like, damn, fucking white people be doing some white people shit.
I know. What year was this again?
86.
86.
86 things.
Yeah. I like how she's calling the cops and she's like, "Well, you told me if there was another disturbance to give you a call." She's like, "I'm disturbed."
I'm disturbed.
Then they hang up on her. They're like, "This crazy
this
lady."
fucking lady.
This lady's all disturbed.
Hey, they still sent someone out though.
Yeah. This opening scene actually, like it had humor in it, because another part that I found was pretty funny is when the neighbor is running down the stairs screaming, and so is Crawford Tillinghast, and it gets to a point where he just passes her.
Yeah, he just books it. He's
he
like,
just
fuck
leaves
this.
Pushes her out of the way.
It's like, get out of the way.
I know.
I got to get out of here.
That was
I
funny.
mean, dude, after seeing what he must I mean, we later get to see what the creature looks like, but after seeing like they look fucking freaky.
Yeah.
Like the ones that like bit the head off are like it must have looked fucking insane.
Well, we see what bit the head off, don't we? Towards later on in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that shit looked gnarly, and you see that for the first time.
Yeah, it was a good opening. I really enjoyed the beginning of the film.
Yeah, I like how it left me with the question of like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, there's definitely a reoccurring theme with these Lovecraft movies.
Yeah, it's always some creature from beyond the realm of our existence. It seems like.
Mhm.
This is our third.
Is it our third Lovecraft? Oh well, yeah. If you count Into the Mouth of Madness, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's what Lovecraft stories are about, right? Like it's about like the unknown and like the fear that surrounds it. And so I like that every time we see his stories, it's always like just some wild fucking creature that we've never even like considered before, just kind of coming in and wrecking lives.
I mean, as we'll see later, I think they do a good job with the special effects of creating like creatures that don't really look of this world or like resemble really anything that we have here. I think that was pretty cool.
Yes and no. Like it's something that we've never seen, but it still had like almost like a recognizable shape.
True.
Yeah, that's true. But I like the way the movie just keeps like upping the tension with the introduction of Dr. McMichael, and I love her beef with Dr. Blotch, and they're just shitting on each other.
Yeah.
Her methods are to like take advantage and like experiment and then take credit for the pain she puts her patients through.
Yeah, because the young one didn't like that she was putting schizophrenic people into an insane asylum, whereas she wanted to run tests, and so she called her like you treat them like lab rats.
There you go, you treat them like lab rats. I like how convincing Combs is in the insane asylum of like looking fucking crazy.
I mean, if you look at it from his point of view, or even from an outside point of view, you have this guy who's saying that there's eels living amongst us right now, and I like how the Dr. Catherine McMichaels is like, are they with us now?
Yeah, like can you
Yes.
see them now?
Yes, they're everywhere. Like, okay, this guy's insane.
But then the thing that convinces him is they do a CT scan on his brain and he has like the engorged pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look up what a pineal gland was. I was like, what is that?
The pineal
Is,
gland.
is it real? Is it a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's responsible for
It produces melatonin,
yeah.
serotonin. It helps with sleep, I believe. Like it's all like it's right in this like kind of like where the brain stem meets your actual like brain. Like it's like right there.
Doesn't she say in the movie that it's also responsible for like arousal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
think
everyone gets
that's-
all revved up after they've been in the resonator for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think of McMichaels? Do you think she had a little mad scientist in her? Because the second she even remotely thinks that this dude's like experiment works, he's like all down to just like take responsibility of this potentially insane person to like recreate this fucking wild sounding test.
Yeah, it's
Well,
kind of crazy.
seems like it's pretty like groundbreaking work, and if she could be a part of this groundbreaking, discovery, it's like, why not?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you do have to have a little bit of craziness in you to want to recreate a study that drove someone to the brink of insanity.
I mean, at this point, they think that he decapitated the other Pretorius. But I thought it was pretty cool how the cop was like, he's like, I don't know what happened. There's no blood anywhere, no blood on the axe, no blood on the floor. I
Yeah.
was like, that's pretty crazy how it just snapped his head off, but there was no blood anywhere. I wonder if the blood stood in the beyond.
Maybe it just got sucked out.
No,
Damn.
because the dog was licking it, right? The dog was licking the blood.
Was the dog licking the blood? I don't remember that. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, because the neighbor was like, "Where's my dog?" And then
That's
it goes
right.
back. Yeah.
Ran up to the attic.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that the resonator reached out of the house? Because like the dog went straight for the resonator, and
We know
Didn't
for
really know
sure that it
why.
reaches to the basement,
yeah,
and that house is pretty fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
just the dog's all horny, trying to get all horned up.
It's all revved up, dude. I
Would have
like
been
how
funny
it
if the dog was humping the decapitated head.
that'd be
Is that
pretty
too
funny.
much?
Nah, that'd be hilarious. That'd be fucking super funny. I like how I questioned this later, but they do give us a clue to it because there's like water and shit all over the place later on when they're in the beyond. I was like, where's this water coming from? But I remember the detective said that the Dr. Pretorius was covered in some liquid that the pathologist can't even like identify.
It was all gooey.
Yeah, another substance from the beyond that got left into our world.
There's some fucking goop.
Some goop.
Oh, he is pretty goopy when we see him later on for the
He's
first
super
time.
goopy, dude.
Dude, he's like fucking all fucking moist
He's
Yeah.
like he's got KY jelly all over his body.
all over him. He's like
Mm.
fucking
Elusive. Never be able to catch him.
What's-
Greased up deaf guy.
You're never gonna catch me.
Hell yeah, that's a good callback. What do you guys think of the classic sexism when Officer Bubba automatically assumes that Tilling Gas is Dr. McMichaels?
Classic.
Classic sexism of the 80s.
Yeah.
Typical 80s
it's
things.
just like a Silence of the Lambs, right? Was that 80s or was that 90s?
Early 90s, seems like 91.
Mm. Yeah, because no one respects women.
Did that happen in that movie too? Did Clarice get not
Yeah.
respected?
Yeah, she was womanized throughout the
Mhm.
whole movie.
Hmm.
Like no one respected her opinion on things.
Damn, I don't
You had
know.
to force it down their throats.
Even though she had like a master's degree in like I think
Yeah.
like criminal psychology, like she's all bombed. I mean, she's
Yeah.
a fucking FBI agent, so like
Well, I don't remember her going through that struggle.
Yeah, because
I
her and
just
Dr. Lecter talk about it.
oh damn, I need to rewatch the movie. That was such a good movie. I saw a
Great
dog
movie.
the other day that was being walked and it had on a full face mask and it reminded me of
Of Hannibal
Hannibal.
Lecter?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
funny.
it was funny because it was a tiny dog too. Like it was a little like French bulldog with a full like Hannibal Lecter face mask on.
Dude, did you notice that I like how they make like Bubba a jock? He's like, I used to play professional football. We're all a little crazy. And then the next time they show him this, who's bringing in his own set of weights into the house. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, does that dude bring in a barbell? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Bubba's character
Yeah.
was so funny.
gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah.
It was that dude. It was cracking me up, especially when he made them dinner and he gives them each like one serving and he gives himself 3.
3. He has stayed bulking, bro. He eats 3 eggs for every meal.
I mean, he
Yup.
was a big ass dude.
It's like he cooked like fucking heads of cauliflower.
Yeah, with like steak on him or something.
I thought they were I thought it was like a shepherd's pie or like a chicken pot pie. And those
Maybe.
were or biscuits and gravy and like those are the biscuits on top. And he
Oh,
scooped
Those
it
are
might
out.
have been.
fucking huge ass biscuits.
Bulking, dude. Those cheddar
Yeah.
bays. What'd you guys think of I did not expect how quickly sexual this movie gets when they're going over the mansion and then you just get introduced to fucking Pretorius's like sex dungeon, his like sex room, and he has like just like a VHS of him just like whooping some bare chested woman.
It was fast.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be one of these movies.
It happened real quick.
got real BDSM real fast.
It did. I think Stuart Gordon's like a freak low key. I don't think that was in the original 7 pages. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I don't think they were able to fit all of that in.
That shit, like, I was like, oh, fuck, all right. Didn't see this coming.
I wonder if that's an actual thing though, like the pineal gland.
I don't know. I
And-
mean, that's what they were saying, right?
Yeah.
Because
What
when
do you
when they do the experiment, like, and it kicks in, like, freaking, what's his name? Tillinghast and Dr. McMichael are like just like sexually like staring at each other and like breathing all heavily and like getting all hot and bothered.
Yeah. Well, isn't the first time they do it, all 3 of them are in it, right?
Yeah.
Even what's his name? Bubba was starting to feel it too.
I feel like he's the best at like composing himself though out of the 3 of them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, she gets McMichaels gets like immediately like in its grasp.
She's probably never experienced arousal like that before.
Well, then we find out that like Pretorius was like obsessed with the 5 senses, right? And then he thought the pectoral gland was the 6th sense. And that doubles down on his BDSM. He liked
It's the pineal gland, right?
pineal
Yeah,
gland.
pineal.
I looked it up, and the pineal gland doesn't directly produce arousal. It only really produces melatonin,
Mm.
and so it's more about relaxation and sleepiness.
So it kicks in when you come, and then you just like want to take a nap.
It's the after effect. It's
Post
the
nut
it's
clarity.
the clarity.
I call it the post-nut-itis.
Mm.
Hmm.
I mean, it's similar to eating a bunch of turkey on Thanksgiving.
Turkeyitis.
I think fucking Pretorius his character reminded me of Hellraiser the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was into that BDSM stuff and he was trying to like push it further.
And he was like, he was like driven by his like carnal desires.
Yeah.
Like he was just like revved up constantly. But then we find out later on that it's because he can't nut.
Is that why?
Well, Gordan, when they have their final showdown, is like, not, what's his name? Not Gordan. Fucking,
Crawford?
no, Tillinghast.
Yeah,
Tillinghast. And Yeah, Crawford. Yeah, when he's talking shit to him, he's just like, "You don't know how to make love, like you fucking eunuch," and he's like going at him. And I was
He
like,
does
"Oh,
call him a eunuch.
He does, yeah.
Headcanon. What if all the goop is just cum
damn!"
and he's just covered in cum the whole time?
No,
Constantly,
there's so much.
Because he's always aroused, so
There's
he's
so
just
much.
always always blowing loads.
He's dripping.
Yeah.
damn.
This is the first time we see Pretorius, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for like where he's like all he's not all fucked up yet, but he's weird because is it Crawford that touches him and he
Yeah.
leaves like
Mhm.
imprints of his fingers on him?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was crazy.
He's like a what do
I
you
wouldn't
call
have
it?
touched him. What
Kinetic sand.
And then yeah, he's like kinetic sand.
the hell? Nice.
And this is where he pulls his like first like thing moment because isn't like arms like shoot out of his body like he transforms like immediately.
It's his face. His face like opens up, and then
That's right.
it's
Like
it-
Beetlejuice.
yeah, it goes over all of them. Like he's gonna eat all of them, and then Tillinghast flips a switch.
And then we learned he's like, I guess can he not be killed? Because doesn't the cop like fucking like shoot him like multiple times?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
He like
Blasts.
fucking blasts at him, dude.
all horned up. He's still able to make that decision and just start blasting on him.
He's the only character that like makes sense. Like this whole movie.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Tillinghast too, but Tillinghast just gets pushed around by the doctor because he knows like his freedom is tied to her.
Mm-hmm.
Where the cop was like, "Yep, like I'll vouch for this. Like this is real. Let's get the fuck out of here. Like I don't
Mhm.
know what we're still doing here. Let's pack up the van. Let's go." Or Barbara's like not Barbara, freaking McMichaels is obsessed. She just like keeps wanting to go back.
Yeah, she's like, you always have to run a second experiment to prove that the first experiment was right. Okay.
Everyone's
I
like,
mean-
"What? No, we don't have to do that."
I mean, it's
This
true.
is technically the second time.
Yeah, for real.
You do multiple experiments just to make sure that they work.
Maybe I
She wasn't
imagined
wrong.
that entire thing.
But also, like, she gets so drawn in, like, immediately from all of this.
She immediately is like locked in. Like she likes the feeling
Yeah.
because they all
More-
start having those nightmares about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes up there by herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe because she is a doctor, which means she had to do a lot of schooling, which means that she was probably a bookworm, which means she didn't get to explore her sexuality the way she wanted to.
Damn, that's a mad headcanon right there. She's just all pent up.
She's all pent up, and so she got this experience and addicted.
I mean, that's not like the craziest thing I've heard.
Yeah.
I could see that. Because she's like immediately like getting all hot and bothered when she's sleeping and shit.
Yeah, she can't fight the urge.
What do you think was more disturbing when she's getting felt up by
Salad fingers.
by salad fingers? And he's like, "Is this where he grabs her with his massive hand dick?"
Salad fingers.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Same
Oh.
scene.
You think
Same
our
scene.
listeners are going to know who Salad Fingers are?
Google it or YouTube it. I don't know if it's still
Definitely.
on there.
It was the heyday of
If you
YouTube.
don't know, definitely take like a journey into YouTube Salad Fingers. That'll be a fun ride for you.
So it's, I'm not gonna say it'll be a fun ride, but
I'll say it's a
it'll
fun
be
ride.
it'll be a ride. I was never like a salad fingers guy.
I was a Salad Fingers person.
I didn't get too into like the weird part of YouTube.
Oh man. I invented
Uh,
it. I was born in it. I didn't see Mr. Beast until I was a full grown man.
Really though.
Yeah, but I think this second experience is like experiment is where shit gets like super unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it really like I feel like goes off the deep end and the craziness. Cause she's being like fucking sexually assaulted by this like creatureling. And I like how Crawford is like, all right, I can't flip off the switch, so I'm just gonna sprint downstairs to turn off the breaker, and then there's a fucking dune, fucking sandworm down there
There's also Bubba in his fucking
on his underwear.
brown tidy whities.
I like that like he immediately tackles Crawford. Like they're like fighting, and then Crawford's like, "Bro, we need to go down. Like we need to turn this shit off." And then they both run down. Bubba sees the worm, and he's like, "I'll be back." And then he just fucking dips.
I thought he was gonna go get his gun. He just grabs a knife.
Yeah,
He's down though. He like
I mean,
jumps
he's
on
down.
him and
Yeah,
starts
he
shanking him.
jumps
Is a
into that.
war cry.
Yeah, into the goop and the worm with his knife in his tidy whities, his brown tidy whities that like match his skin tone.
Bubba in the basement with the tidy whities.
I mean, he goes beast mode.
I mean, yeah, Bubba carries his weight for sure.
And
Yeah.
then
He's there with the purpose.
I was not expecting like that when Crawford gets eaten, and then Bubba's the one who like he just like fuck it, just strongman pulls the wires from the circuit breaker.
hmm
And then Crawford's just like bald with like a bunch of like were they like burn marks or teeth marks all over his body?
I thought they were
I
teeth,
don't know.
but I don't know. It's hard to tell, honestly.
Why was he bald?
Came out pure.
How did he just came out naked?
I was like,
a
did he
little
get like
naked mole rat.
partially like fucking digested or something?
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe,
he
probably
was
did.
deep in it. He was like up to his knees
Yeah, he was getting fucked up. I
inside
was
the
like,
worm.
I don't know.
But
I
his
kind of
hair was
expected him
gone.
to die.
Well, maybe all of his hair was gone. Wait, did he still have eyebrows?
That's a
I
good
don't remember.
question.
I don't know, because if all the hair left him, that would make sense. Like his eyebrows, his head, his pubes. Because he went up to his knee.
Oh yeah, huh? It's like a really traumatizing wax.
And all of his clothes disappeared too, except for his undies, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he was getting dissolved then, because he was fucked up. Like his eyelids, like this whole part where his eyelids down to like his cheeks was just like pink.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like he got fucked up.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have any eyebrows.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
His-
just it ate all the hair,
It's looking like
all the
fucking
dead cells.
Charlie Villanueva.
Charlie Villanueva.
You remember him? He was a power forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. He had like what's that disease that Jada Pinkett Smith has? Alopecia.
Yeah.
This who had no hair anywhere. No hair anywhere.
Oh,
Just
fucking Josh. What's his name? The quarterback from
Josh
Josh
Dobbs?
Dobbs.
Yeah. I was not expecting Dr. McMichaels to just get all fucking done up and her like all leather like get up with the thong and the fucking tits popping out and
That
the
was hot.
oh she looked
Yeah.
fine. I'm not gonna pretend like she didn't. That was definitely I was like, damn, Stuart Gordon, like, you know your fucking wife's on this movie, right, dude? Like fucking simmer down, bro. Simmer down. There was a few shots that were just focused on her ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was this part I wrote down where is it Crawford? No, it was Bubba who tells her, he's like, you're asking for it, and she goes,
Mhm.
mm-hmm. I was like, oh damn. I was like,
Yeah,
what
this-
movie did I watch? I clicked the wrong link.
And fucking Tillinghast, the dude is just sleeping like a rock the whole time while she's fondling him. She
Fondling
fondles him,
She
and
fucking
then like
inserts him, dude.
what?
Yeah, she gets on top of him. And she does like a motion with her hands, and she does like a like motion.
Yeah, and the dude was out.
He was out. Oh yeah, she did smell his dick though after she jerked him off.
He like tasted it.
That was wild. I was like, damn, this dude is Stuart Gordon's got some he's got some fantasies.
Yeah, he does. Apparently, fucking Carolyn wasn't doing it for him, so he had to go and create all these fantasies within Lovecraft stories.
For real, this extended that 7 pages. This is like the fan fiction version.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this I did not see. I was like, damn. I thought the first movie, Reanimator, was sexual, but this was like, oh damn. And then everything really started to click, all the like phallic imagery. up until this point, and then basically for like the rest of the movie when they have the little penises sticking out of their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little pineal gland poking out. Yeah, and then the third and final form of Dr. Petrovius was basically like a walking dick.
I was gonna say he looks like a fucking
Mhm.
walking dick. Do we see this this time where he turns on the resonator by himself somehow?
Yeah, this is the
Or he's in dick form?
yep. He plugs all the plugs back.
That shit was cool. The way that they took out Bubba was fucked up.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what happened.
I thought they were like gnats or bugs of some kind.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
picturing like locust almost.
I thought they were bees.
Not the bees.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. But then I don't think they were. I think they were more like locusts, just creatures from beyond that just eat your body. But why didn't they eat Crawford and Catherine?
They
Yeah,
were
I don't
attacking
know.
them, and then
eat him.
they didn't eat them. And then the flashlight landed on him, and then they were like
Racist.
Yeah, so
attracted to the light.
he shined the flashlight onto Crawford and the doctor, and it caused them to like leave. I thought initially the flashlight was like a deterrent,
That's what I thought too.
but then he throws the flashlight and it ends up shining directly at him, and then it goes from deterrent to
Like an attractor.
yeah, and then they just swarm him and end up killing him because
Mhm.
they're racist.
The special effects
They were
here
racist.
were fucking cool though.
I like that his whole body's all like gone, but his head's still like
Yeah.
ah.
You can like see his organs and like flesh hanging off his bones. I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
That was my favorite special effect of the movie.
I concur.
That shit was fucking gnarly looking. And then she like clutchly destroys the resonator with the fire extinguisher.
Mhm.
I like how sensitive yet unbreakable this thing is.
Hmm.
Because like
Yeah.
she shuts it off without them shutting the power off by like spraying it with the fire extinguisher, but then at the end of the movie it turns itself back on, even though it should have been destroyed because of all the like liquid.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I also did think that this was gonna be the end. It felt like this could have been the end.
I thought so
Yeah.
too. The whole like next segment with them back at the
Hospital.
hospital seemed fucking wild.
It was like, how do we extend this 7 pages to another like 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, because when I paused it at this point to write something down, and I was like, oh, there's still like I think it was like 26 minutes left in the movie, and I'm like, oh shit, that felt like the end.
Mhm.
But then it gets kind of like really weird after this. I didn't understand the jump for this next part when the pineal gland shoots out of his head and he looks like that bad guy from the Hulk with the really big head.
Do you mean why? Like, why did this happen?
Yeah, like I don't understand why he starts like craving brains and shit.
I thought it happened because um he was in the worm and all of his hair came off, and I thought that like unlocked his pineal gland.
No, because I don't know if you saw earlier while he was sleeping, it looks like on the middle of his forehead, like it pushes up, and then he like wakes up, and I think this is when right before he gets eaten by the worm, because that's when everyone gets woken up because McMichael's turned on the resonator.
I thought that was a nightmare, but
I
yeah,
thought that
it makes sense.
I thought that too, and then he like shoots out of his brain. I'm like, oh shit, there was something trying to get out.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that makes sense.
It's weird that it only happens to him and not her, though. Feels kind of sexist because she was way more horned up than he was.
Racist
Because he
and
had
sexist.
already been around it twice before her.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He had that extra exposure.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get as horned up as quickly. Well, he wasn't a doctor, so maybe he like partied a little bit.
Maybe that's his secret.
He's always horned up.
Always horned up.
Damn. It's like, this is lightweight. No, he's a romantic. That's why he tells him, he's like, you don't know how to make love.
Oh yeah,
He only makes love, no fucking for him.
that makes more sense. I feel that, dude. I identify with that.
I identify with that.
I only
There's
make love.
there's no candles. I don't want it.
If it's not romantic, we're not doing it. Keep the lights on. I want to make eye contact.
I only fucking fluorescent lighting.
Just got a
What?
mixtape with like some Luther Vandross on there, a little Al Green.
Hell yeah.
What'd you guys think of this like next scene? I felt like Dr. Blotch really, really wanted to like make McMichaels pay.
Oh yeah, definitely. She had a personal vendetta against her.
Like immediately to the electric shock therapy.
Dude, no no
Really?
buffer. Just
Straight to jail.
straight to electroshock. Even the nurse is like, but procedure and you know, I don't know what she was saying, but she was like against it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't think we're supposed to. She's like, I don't think you're supposed to give me any lip.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, her husband did just film this whole ass scene with her like in some lingerie. So
That's true.
there was beef.
There's beef. I like how crazy they made Crawford look though. The prosthetic used for his head looked pretty real.
Yeah.
It did.
Like his
Okay.
head looked fucking weird.
And at that point, he already has like the opening with the pineal gland coming in and out.
I like how she's trying to like she thinks she's dead.
Grab
And
it?
she's trying to like grab it. It's like no,
Yeah.
don't
I would
touch
have
me.
I would have immediately said something at that point in time. Like, why didn't you say anything? Like, this guy's head is moving. Like, say something. But then the person who's doing that just gets like called off and they do other shit.
Yeah, they're just like just forget about him. I think because they think he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know if ever you guys think I'm dead and you see something coming out of my body, don't think I'm dead.
No, that's
chop
weird.
your head off.
Yeah, just finish
Well,
the job.
Decapitation.
Yep.
And
I'll
then
just
and then fire.
the little Clorox down that hole, like the one you put for the for your toilet.
Damn, some
Put the
Drano.
nozzle in. Oh,
Drano.
perfect
Put some
fit.
some super glue and super glue it shut.
Hell yeah.
Super glue it shut. Oh my god. This whole scene was wild though, dude. I mean, I thought it was cool when he's like escapes and it's like he's all ravenous and he eats some spinach and he's like, this is gross.
This
Yeah.
is the worst spinach ever. Let me go look at this glowing trash can and eat whatever's in there.
So he just starts munching on some like brains. I like how the doctor's like, oh, don't eat that. You'll get sick. And doesn't like immediately call security.
Yeah.
Like this dude's covered in blood, just munching on like a brain. And she's just like all chill about it.
There's
Yeah,
definitely some choices.
He was surprisingly calm considering the situation.
Maybe because she like works with like crazy people all the time. So like she can keep calm, cool, and collected more than the average Joe, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Why do they just have organs laying around at a mental institute?
That's what I asked, because that's what I was thinking. Because remember the ambulance shows up, so I'm like, is it like a hospital with like a mental health ward in it?
I thought it was a hospital.
I like what'd you think of him sucking the brains out of her eyeball though?
It's one way to do it.
Reminded me of Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Just like
That-
like a good suck.
Good suck. Just bites her eyeball and just spits it out perfectly. Like perfectly contained too, which I thought was impressive. What that mouth do, and then he just sucked out her fucking brains.
Yeah. You could suck a softball through a garden hose.
Suck an eyeball out of a skull. I feel like that'd be really hard.
I mean, he was really hard.
Yeah, he was revved up, dude. He was fully
God damn
engorged. His pineal gland.
How did I walk into that?
And now I'm convinced they pick pineal gland because it sounds like penis.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like just to have
The pineal gland.
just to have a fucking dick sticking out of his forehead.
The more we talk about this movie, the more silly it is to me.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I feel like my grade is changing in real time.
I mean, Loki, like right now when we're talking about it, I was just like, I thought this movie was like pretty solid. And like everything up until like when Bubba dies, I was like, this was like a pretty crazy movie. But this whole like last segment is pretty like I don't understand why they did this. With
It's
zero explanation as to why he has like I understand the penis head thing, like that happens to Pretorius. Like we see he has that.
yeah.
It's like okay, he's changing from like the resonator, but like why is he sucking out brains? Like why is he being real weird?
Maybe it's because he's a daywalker. He has like
All their weaknesses, none of their strengths. He's like a
yeah
reverse daywalker.
yeah because he's like part of that dimension, but he's also in this dimension as
Oh,
well.
he hasn't fully changed yet.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
he's more
like he's
human than
in the
monster.
in between.
Mm.
I could see that. But it's weird too because Pretorius never goes after their brains. He just like wants to like sexually
Touch them.
assault that
Yeah,
like Dr. McMichaels.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
Well,
It felt a lot of left field.
he did want to eat them at one point. The
Oh, I
first
guess
time
that's true.
he was, and then we get shown, I think, more towards the end when he flies. He's going for the head as well.
That part was funny. I like how when they're finally escaping and how Dr. McMichaels just like steals that van, just like immediately bolts. And where the fuck did she get that bomb?
I was gonna say that too. Like she just carries
Like dynamite.
dynamite with, and it's not even like one dynamite. It's like a
It's like
full brick of dynamite that she just casually has on her body.
That's like rigged up to like a timer. It's like a real like advanced bomb. Like where did she get that from?
all bomb.
Different times, man. The 80s were crazy.
The 80s
The cops just had like remote bombs just like in their cop cars. It's like you never know.
Crooked cops.
That made no sense. I was like, okay, I guess. Like where'd that come from? And I do love how when Crawford's like talking shit to Pretorius and then he like turns into that bat, like after he calls him a eunuch, he just instantly gets killed.
Mhm.
It's like instantly dies. What'd you think? I like how Dr. McMichaels just bites his pineal gland, just rips it out of his skull, and that makes him normal again.
Yeah. That's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do. You just need to snip it.
That hurt. That scene, I don't know about you guys, but that kind of hurt me.
Yeah, I felt bad for his pineal gland.
Dude, getting your pineal gland chomped like that?
Just like savagery. I was like, holy shit.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting that imagery for sure. And that's what I was talking about. I like this next scene's like special effects where she's trying to get away, and you see Crawford like coming out of his mouth, like being like born like fucking Ace Ventura coming out of like the rhino suit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That shit was fucking gnarly looking. Those special effects are fucking cool.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I was like, holy shit. How'd they fucking make that happen?
Shout out to practical effects.
Yeah, those practical effects. It's like they took all the practical effects and just amplified it to like a grander scale.
Hmm.
Yeah, this last scene was when they're just like piles of flesh was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Or when their tips separate, but it's really their heads.
Yeah, this whole scene was just completely unhinged.
It was so crazy, dude.
Dude.
I like I didn't know it was just there was so much happens in this final like push.
It was like too much. I was like trying to like figure out all the like different things that were happening.
Hmm.
I was like, first he was like a full like penis creature, then he got birth, then there was just like a pile of flesh. Now their heads are separating. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
It's like both their bodies are fighting for control of that one body.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's just one of those instances where it's like they took 7 pages and really tried to form it into a movie and they didn't know what to do with the end. So they're just throwing everything. at the wall trying to get something to stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of how like she jumps out of the window? I like how their commitment to realism here. And instead of her like just like tucking and rolling and like being fine after falling from like 3, 4 stories, her knee is just like just like
Shattered.
sticking out of her fucking kneecap. That shit look crazy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was gnarly.
And then she just starts laughing hysterically. Does that mean she went crazy? She lose it?
I think we
Like-
all go a little mad
I
sometimes.
think so.
She's like her dad.
Yeah. Like her dad.
Yeah, her dad was like, that's how she becomes a psychiatrist. Her dad was like
Oh, yeah.
institutionalized and he died in an institution.
Yeah, that's right.
And then scene. I think I'm with you. I think after talking it over, I think I need to drop it a grade.
I think the initial shock from watching it for the first time like made me think that I like this movie more.
I was like, damn, this movie was crazy. Can't believe it was crazier than Reanimator.
I mean, it was crazy, but I don't know if
Yeah.
it was crazy in a good way.
The first hour was pretty good. The last 30 minutes felt kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they would have taken Bubba dying and then just combined it with the last fight where Crawford and Pretorius are like fighting each other and he gets birthed or whatever, and didn't have the whole like them going back to the psych ward, I think it would have been better.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it would have ended where I thought it ended, which is where you're saying I think that would have been fine.
Yeah, just fuse the last confrontation with when Bubba died, and I think you would. I mean, it would have been like an hour and 15, but it would have been like more compelling movie,
Mhm.
True.
more complete. I felt like that whole penal gland eating brains thing was like unnecessary to what the fuck was going on for like the rest of the like hour and 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was just like a random side quest.
it was.
He just had to become a zombie really quick.
Yeah, just to give like he wanted to give his wife more scenes.
There it is. I think we found it.
You probably had to just extend the story, right? It's just like didn't want to.
Apparently, like they kept trimming it in order to get it to pass the R rating. So like there
Oh,
was
shit.
more like they released an uncut version. But I guess that unlike Reanimator, the uncut version is supposedly the better version. For this one, the theatrical version is the better version. But yeah, I think I dropped it a point.
Understandable. Sometimes you just got to talk through things.
Process your emotions live here with us.
So you got, there wasn't many interesting facts on this movie either.
Yeah, I feel like this was just one of those movies that was made just have some fun.
It feels like the like unwanted stepchild to Reanimator.
Kind of like a spiritual successor in some type of way, but it's not really like a success.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this movie fucking bombed. It cost 4.5 million to make, and it only made 1.2.
Oh,
Where Reanimator, it's cost between 900 and 1.3 mil, and it made 2 million.
Mhm.
So, and then this movie was even like filmed in a whole nother country in order to cut costs. So,
Yeah.
and it still bombed horribly. Yeah, it's pretty not good. After talking it over, I'm surprised that it's Rotten Tomato scores. Do you guys have any interesting facts? Or should we just jump into our reviews?
I got one.
Shoot it.
The resonator sounds, the sounds
Mhm.
that it would make, got sampled by the Beastie Boys for Intergalactic.
That's cool.
That's dope.
The resonator was pretty sick.
Yeah.
I like the resonator. I like the special effects. I like the I didn't talk about it, but I like the music in this movie. I think the music did a good job of like setting the tone in a lot of the scenes,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
the
I agree.
resonator scenes.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think so.
No.
All right, should we get into our reviews?
Let's get it.
All right, since I already prefaced it, so Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie an 81%, and IMDb has it at a 6.6. I wanted to write down in comparison to Reanimator. What did
Find that
Reanimator
really.
get from Rotten Tomatoes?
Let me look it up. Hacking the mainframe.
Rotten Tomatoes, Reanimator got a 94%. Um, it got a 7.2 from IMDb and a
Okay.
73 Metacritic. So it was, yeah, Reanimator was really well received.
I mean, I think it's a better movie
Yeah, I think
for
it's a better
sure.
movie.
It's a way more complete like story. I felt like this movie kind of jumped the shark a little bit, and then like I'm not against like seeing an attractive woman in some lingerie, but like this movie was really doubled down on the like the sexualness.
I feel like both of these definitely deserve to be relooked at and possibly remade. I feel like there's a market for both of these movies.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, why don't you kick it off, Twan? Since we ended with you last week, why don't you kick it off with your review?
Yeah, so again, after talking about it, I think I had to kick it down. I give this movie a C plus. It had some flashes of brilliance. You know, the story was relatively easy to follow along. The acting was good considering. Yeah, I think there's too much wrong with the last 30 minutes or even the last 15 minutes of the movie that really take away from the movie as a whole. But again, there's some shining lights. The sound design was good. The practical effects or the shining light, the entire shining light of this movie. So yeah, C plus. Would definitely recommend it to anyone who's just wants to see, you know, a B 80s horror movie. It falls into the same realm as Reanimator. It has a lot of similarities, but it's not better than Reanimator for sure.
Do you
So yeah,
remember what you gave Reanimator?
don't. I'm gonna say a B plus. I was definitely high because I really enjoyed that movie. That movie was crazy. I would have to look back at my notes. But yeah, C plus for this movie. Could have been better, could have ended better, but overall, it was just a wild ride.
Yeah, agree. I'll take an X. Yeah, I agree with a lot of the points you said, Twan. Like the first hour of this movie, I thought was pretty cool. Like, I was like enjoying it. I think initially, like the three of us, like when I left and it ended, I was like, "Holy shit, that was like a wild ride." And I initially had it graded higher. I ultimately landed where you land with the C plus. I had it initially graded as a B minus, but after we talked about it, I'm like, I don't think this is a B minus film. Like you said, the last like 30 minutes of that movie after Bubba dies is kind of like all over the place. Like, I don't know. It feels like I'm watching a different movie at that point. But the special effects, like you said, incredible. They were really good. I don't know if we're just getting lucky with the movies on our list or what, but it feels like a lot of the movies we've been watching recently, the special effects have been like insane levels of good. Like
Hmm.
this one was I put an argument some scenes up there I thought were just as good as some of the scenes in the thing, which I think has
Yeah.
some of the best practical effects I've ever seen. Would I recommend this movie? Yeah, I'd recommend it if you like this style of movie, if you like a good B horror movie. The acting was still pretty good. The story was overall like okay. Like it wasn't like horrible. It just like, it's definitely more silly, I feel like, than Reanimator. It's not as tight. I looked up at my notes. I gave that one an A minus. I really like that
Mm.
movie. This one was not as good. I was hoping it'd be closer to that realm, but my hopes weren't as high that it would. But I'm so glad I'm glad I say, like you said, I think a revisit would be cool. This is definitely a good movie to show people if you want to show them some weird shit. But like, yeah, this is tentative recommend. If you're into these type of movies, check it out. If you want to see like a classic underground ish 80s horror film. Like it's cool. And the special effects I think alone are kind of worth watching it, especially if you're a fan of practical effects. All right, so finish this off.
I give this movie a C. Wasn't really my favorite movie. I mean, I loved the practical effects of it. I always appreciate like some really good practical effects. It was kind of goofy and like silly, but the story didn't really like entice me. Like I feel like after when I thought it was gonna end, I felt like I just got kind of bored from there. And it just wasn't. It didn't really hit for me the way I thought it was gonna hit. I did like I like the other one more, and I'm blanking on the name right now.
Reanimator.
Reanimator.
I liked Reanimator more than this one. And so yeah, I mean, I feel like I agree with the ratings that we saw online, and kind of same things with what you guys said. Like it was a cool ride, but it didn't. I feel like they didn't end it really well. It would be cool to see this revamped for like a new audience to take in. That might be like an interesting thing to kind of see if that could happen. That'd be really wild to see where we can go. I do worry though that like a lot of the newer stuff that we've seen, practical effects aren't really like that big and prominent. I mean, I think Alien was the most recent example where they did really great practical effects, but they went to such great lengths. Like
Yeah.
Fetty Alvarez, is that his name? Fetty.
Mhm.
Yep.
He pulled all the original guys from the original Alien movie to redo all their special effects. So that would be kind of hard
So
to do.
good.
You know what I mean?
So good.
But it was
Yeah.
worth it. Like you can tell the love and care that went into this. I think this one was made as like another like pet project of like they probably really loved doing this movie and they had a lot of fun. But yeah, it just really didn't hit the same way as the first one did. But it's okay. I'd still recommend it if you want to see like one of those cult classic movies from like the was it the 80s,
The
from
80s.
from
Yeah.
that
That's like a
time.
mid '80s.
Some of the things are dated. You might have to like kind of get through that, but you can do all that. It's a ride. It's a choice. Yeah.
Shall we will it and deal it?
Well, I want to add one. The Void.
The Void. Where the heck is
Is that the one that's on Netflix?
It was for a while, yeah.
Nice. That one was a good one.
The Void? Hold on, let me share my screen.
Modern movies that utilize practical effects.
Yeah.
Big. Oh, let me double check that I didn't reset it to.
I would still like a foreign horror movie.
Foreign
preferably
horror.
Pulse.
Foreign horror. What about you, Twan?
I'm gonna go David Lynch. Keep it weird.
David Lynch.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get Life of Brian by Monty Python. Straight up, gonna just
that's
call it
a
one.
fucking good one.
Put it all on green. All right, let's wheel it. See what we get. We've been getting what did we watch before this one? I kind of want something a little funnier, a little bit more silly. Let's see though. Let's see what the wheel
Yes.
bequits upon us.
Super Mario Bros.
Super
With
Mario
the-
Bros.
Oh, there it's just
With
past.
John Leguizamo. Oh,
3,000 Miles from Graceland.
Damn rubber.
Seven Samurai.
Boiler Room.
Seven Samurai. Oh yeah, I'm fucking hyped. I love this.
Damn,
movie.
1954.
Oh yeah,
Oh shit. Okay.
it's a 3-hour long movie, boys. Get
Jesus
ready.
Christ.
Hey, they're playing Seven Samurai at the Alamo Draft House in LA on Friday, January the 10th at 2:30 p.m.
Oh,
Nice.
sick. What? Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
this movie rocks. You guys seen any movies by Akira Kurosawa?
I don't know.
He's a fucking
I don't know.
legend.
I gotta look to see what he did.
He popularized basically all the samurai movies from this era. Hidden Fortress was a big influence on Star Wars. That's a cool movie. All right, guys. Well, the will has spoketh. We are watching a classic, the 1954 samurai movie, Seven Samurai by the acclaimed director Akira Kurosawa. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen the Western movie, The Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
Okay, so The Magnificent Seven is based off of Seven Samurai. It's just the Western
shit.
version of this movie.
Nice.
Yeah, Seven
That's cool.
Samurai fucking rock. I'm excited. This movie rocks.
Nice.
It's a long ass movie though, so 3-hour movie, folks. So make sure you get your popcorn, get your soda pop, lock in. It's a long one.
I got a stovetop popcorn maker for Christmas.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Those are a game changer.
I'm pretty stoked to use it.
Telling you, if you got any extra like bacon fat lying around, use that to pop the kernels. You get a little bacon flavor on your popcorn. It's pretty bomb.
That sounds amazing.
Sounds exquisite.
It's very good. I recommend it to all our listeners. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us this week. If you guys want to support the pod, you can click the donation link at the bottom of each episode. But if you can't donate, that's totally cool. We love joining you guys each week. We love making the pod. If you guys haven't done so already, give us a follow on our social medias. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X/Twitter, and Reds. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
As always, I have been your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Seiya
Adios.
and Twan.
Bye.
See you guys next week. Bye.